Welcome to Tokyo. That building right behind me is whatever's left of the Dōjunkai apartment complex that was built in 1927. It's the first earthquake-proof concrete building following the Great Kanto Earthquake that destroyed so much of Tokyo. In 1926 and 27, the Dōjunkai company started to build a bunch of complexes around Tokyo in concrete, which would withstand the earthquakes that would come in Tokyo. After a big one does occur, the cities usually react. This is what they did. They built these really massive concrete apartment buildings that would be able to withstand strong earthquakes and the fires, which is what really destroyed Tokyo. Not so much the earthquake as much as the fires that came after it. Concrete, of course, is much better than wood, which is what they were made of back in the Taisho era and the early Showa era. Buildings were still made of wood. So this building is all that remains, and in 2003 and to 2006, they built what you see here, which is Omotesando Hills. Tens of thousands of tourists walk by this every single day and don't actually realize the significance of Omotesando Hills, because all you see is a shopping center that nobody goes to. Let's be honest, Omotesando Hills is not really a popular shopping mall. I'll show you what's inside there. Let's look at some of the history though. It really is fascinating. So I did go inside of the Omotesando Hills here. Let me play this video. You can see the structure of the Omotesando Hills made of glass, very modern. The designer Ando-san is there, and actually right there at the entrance of Omotesando Hills, back when they first built it, I'm pretty sure there used to be a pillar that was remaining right there where that Chloe is. There used to be a pillar from the old Dōjunkai apartment complex. I guess they removed it. Another example of how they've minimalized the history of it. Here's the backside of it, so you can get more of a feel. The trees, the old avenues of the back streets of Omotesando. There are actually, I believe, 38 high, super luxury apartments inside of here that are very minimalist, but they're very expensive, which makes them luxury. There's a walk through to the main avenue over there, but it's still covered in ivy the way that it was back in the Showa era. So you get kind of that feel on the backside of the Omotesando Hills, although that's a new building. But you can see what's circled there, what was once a pillar that I guess they've taken it out. Inside of Omotesando Hills, you can see there's nobody. The first thing is that it's really nice inside, but the second thing that you notice is there's nobody inside shopping here. I've been going in and out of Omotesando Hills for decades, and quite often I don't see people in here buying anything. So I don't even know how the businesses stay in business. And I heard that in the basement they had some sort of photo display showing the history of Dōjunkai and the apartment complex. I didn't find anything down there. So another example of how I think that they've really minimalized the history here, and that's super sad to me. There's because the history really makes the city come alive. I even asked the information ladies at the entrance of Omotesando Hills, and I said, are there any remnants of the old Dōjunkai besides the wing right here? And they said, nope, we don't know. I don't think they'd ever heard about that pillar. I guess they removed it in the early 2000s. I don't know, but it kind of rubbed me the wrong way knowing that all of the past except for this wing here is gone. It is a beautiful wing though. I want to show you a video I found on YouTube and kind of react to it. This video is quite old, but it shows what Omotesando used to look like back in, I don't know, 25 years ago. There was that old building called Dōjunkai. I walked by it in my first 4 or 5 years living here in Tokyo, or living in Japan. When I walked through Omotesando Hills, I remember walking past this. It looked kind of abandoned to me. It was a really old apartment complex. This is the old site of what is now Omotesando Hills, covered in ivy. I don't know if it was an eyesore or not, but people still lived in there. That's what it looked like from street level. And today it looks very much different, like glass and steel. Got another section of the video here. From the top of this video showed the top of Dōjunkai, the old apartments. You could feel that 1920s, 1930s Japan, the way that people were living here 25 years ago like this. which is crazy to me because now it's all about money, luxury, designer goods, fashion. Back then, it's where people lived, you know? And this lady was 77 at the time, and she's talking about coming in here. I'll see if I can link a description in here, but there's no English to it. It's all in Japanese. The street itself, including these trees, are the same. They're a lot bigger now. But you can see the old Dōjunkai apartment building, earthquake-proof, also covered in ivy. It had kind of an almost abandoned feel, which I guess this is one reason why the city of Tokyo might have taken it out and turned it into Omotesando Hills. But there was a lot of people that were against that, wanted to retain the old charm of Tokyo. And now Omotesando Hills is like a shining example of modern Tokyo. I was here when Dōjunkai was here, so for me, there's some history to it, and I kind of have a lot of respect. You can see there's the Great Kanto Earthquake in 1923. A lot of things were destroyed. You can see the fire is really what destroyed most of this stuff. The building's made of like mud and wood and things like that. And then they built this in 1927. It was brand new then. It was kind of a big deal. It looked real nice for 1927, doesn't it? But it was made of cement, and people felt safe in here because you could see here's a resident from back then. People didn't feel really safe for a long time after the Great Kanto earthquake, so they really wanted to be in safer buildings. So these earthquake buildings were very important. And then when World War II hit, because this building was made of cement, not all of them were. A lot of shacks had gone up here. World War II did not destroy the Dōjunkai here in Omotesando. The bombing of Tokyo, most of the stuff was completely destroyed, but Dōjunkai remained because of that cement. So a lot of the buildings that were reinforced during the Great Kanto earthquake survived the fires. The more than the bombing were the fires of Tokyo as a result of the bombing. So a lot of history here, and today you can see Dōjunkai, right? Whatever is left of it is very much representative of the old structure. I'm gonna walk around it now. You can take a look at it. You can there's a modern toilet right here in Omotesando, and the A1 and A2 exits of Omotesando subway station is in this direction. Walking through the alley here, you can see the old ivy crawling up this 100-year-old building in a couple of years. It'll be celebrating 100 years surviving the Great Tohoku earthquake in 2011 as well. That was pretty strong. There's the backside of it, and you can see the difference in the architectural style. But at the time, Ando, who is the designer of Omotesando Hills, really wanted to find a way to protect it. So it's between, this is also part of the Omotesando Hills, and that one is. So they made sure they kept part of it intact, because again, it was quite significant building. You can even see like there's old soil from is that from 1927? I guess so. And then you can see the steps here, also from 1927. As well. There's a lot of history here. It's a little bit of the history. Replaced the Omotesando Hills. It's used glass, concrete, and natural lighting from modern urban canyon. I'm not a really big, it's a reinterpretation. I'm not a big fan of the Omotesando Hills here. Dōjunkai means people's welfare, and the apartments were a humanist response to the disaster. The controversy of the demolition led to wider debates in Japan about urban heritage preservation and versus commercial development. It was one of the big losses of old Japan at the time, post-World War II. Many locals still call this the old Dōjunkai apartments. So I guess it's Dōjunkai instead of Dōjunkai. Maybe I'm getting that wrong here. The internet will correct me. The Dōjunkai Aoyama apartments. In 1927, it was built, one of Japan's first reinforced concrete apartment complexes. U-shaped courtyard design, communal gardens, 28 low-rise units with thick concrete walls inspired by European Bauhaus and modernist ideals, housed artists, professors, and writers, a cultural hub in pre-war Tokyo, withstood the World War II bombing, survived till the early 2000s, demolished in 2003. I remember that being in the news. Everyone was talking about it. Yeah. And you know, Omotesando itself has a history, right? It was the front approach road to Meiji Shrine. So that's why the trees are here. This is supposed to be the approach road to Meiji Shrine. So it is a significant road, Omotesando, which is considered the Champs-Élysées of Tokyo. Originally lined with Japanese black pines, later replaced with the now iconic Zelkova trees post-World War II. So the trees were different back then. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Served as a ceremonial procession route and symbolic approach to imperial modernity. So there's a little bit of insight into here. I think if you are coming to Tokyo, you're probably going to come to Omotesando because the back alleys, they have all of the fashionable Instagrammable donut shops and cake shops and cafes and satellite shops for unusual fashion, that Harajuku look. You're probably going to be walking up and down this road. So if you do, I think you might want to pay a little bit more attention to this building and kind of feel that old Tokyo history, because I think it makes the city and the country of Japan come alive if you just understand a little bit of what was once where you're standing right now. I have a lot of appreciation for that. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you want to correct me for saying Dōjunkai 1,000 times, it's Dōjunkai. It says just Dōjunkai. Kan, I think, is this building, which is now Kan, meaning like a plaza or wing or something. So that's changed. But I'm glad that they've remained. This building remains, and you can still see some of the old Tokyo. The preservation of the city, I think, is very important, and sometimes I think the city loses sight of that. I'm glad that we didn't here, but I am sad that they have really minimalized its history inside of there, what was once there 25 years ago when they completed this building. All right, guys, see you in the next live stream. Thanks for watching. Mata ne.